Right, Ryan, you come down to Chelmsford, you've got a draw, but for a lot of the game that Durham was sort of the team on top.
I think, we walk away from here, a little disappointed we couldn't bowl them out in the last day, but, I'm walking away really pleased with the guys that, not many teams come to Chelmsford and dominate Essex. And to be honest, those first 3 days, the way we batted, the way we set the tone with Michael Jones and then obviously Ollie Robson and Alex Lees, but just the way we went about it, I just felt we had control of the game, and we were the only team that could win the game for pretty much all the days. So from that, we're very pleasing. Like I say, a little disappointed today that we couldn't get those breakthroughs, but mate, on a flat wicket with two good players not wanting to, not really caring if they scored or not, bloody tough work.
Exactly. It seemed like the pitch did almost nothing today, that a couple maybe span a little bit, but other than that, just real hard graft for those bowlers.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, I'm not here to moan and groan because groundsmen do such a wonderful job, but, we've had some pretty flat wickets this year, and, we get here, it's a used wicket. It really takes a lot of the fast bowlers out of the contest, but, they manfully kept going at it. Matthew Potts I thought was outstanding. Him and Porter from Essex I felt were outstanding for both teams. So it's a tough graft, but if you keep working and you've got a bit of pace about you and a bit of aggro, so to speak, you can find a way.
Come back to Potts in a minute, but if you want two batters in the world sort of not to be out there, Dean Elgar is pretty high on the list of people you don't want to be out on the pitch like that in that situation, is it?
Well, he's not the South African captain, or wasn't the South African captain for no reason. He's a wonderful player, and Essex are lucky that he's now apparently playing as an Englishman, which kind of, I shake my head, but the facts are, this competition, and I'll go back always to this competition, how great it is. We want the best players in the world playing here. Essex want the best players, Durham want the best players, and that creates a great contest, which hopefully forms your next level of English players. So, look, at the end of the day, I just think some really good cricket from both teams.
So it started, you mentioned, with Michael Jones setting the tone, but sort of the batting there couldn't have gone any better, with Bedingham coming in, but also those 2 centuries for Alex Lees and Ollie Robinson.
Well, that's the thing, that's the Durham way, and I know people sort of joke about my ethos of going at it and going for it, and we don't want to play draws, but for us to do that, just to get any chance of a result, we have to go fast to give our bowlers as much time as possible. And we're lucky enough to have very natural stroke makers and guys that like scoring fast, but then you have an Alex Lees who can go fast, but at certain days will stick around and make sure he's the glue, and that's what he did on day one. So look, like I say, you make 445 on day one of a 4-day clash, I think you should be pretty pleased.
And then Matthew Potts followed that up. That probably the best he's bowled this season for you?
Yeah, easily. Potter has been, don't get me wrong, he's always trying for us, he's always charging in, but I think he'll admit that he hasn't been quite at his best. But this game, it was the Matthew Potts that we know, keep trucking away into the channel, hitting the pitch really hard, and when he does that, little things do happen, and he creates opportunities for himself and for us as a team. So look, again, I'm not an English selector. I don't know if Potter's going to get picked for the English team, but geez, they'd do worse if they didn't pick him. And I guess we go back home, we play Worcester, Ben Stokes comes into the team, so Potsy will have one more chance to sort of prove to him that he's the guy. But whichever way it goes, he's going to be a very good player.
It's no harm, you say, to England having a look. They had England scout here, and he seemed to go away quite happy and impressed with the way he'd been bowling there. Do you see sort of anything different in the way that he bowled in this match compared to those other ones? It's been a lot of flat wickets for him this year.
Yeah, a lot of flat wickets, but I think in the past, I think he has been trying to get too many wickets. It's all about trying to get wickets, and I know we kind of, that's the way we play, but when Potter tries to push too hard for that, he probably gets his line wrong, and he gets scored against a bit easier. Whereas, this game, I felt that he was just sort of, he took a breath and just charged in and wanted to get into the channel. And if something happened, it happened. And, for me, I thought his pace, was as solid throughout the whole day. I reckon he was bowling as fast with the new ball as he did on day one. So, that's to me shows, mate, he's a good bowler. He's a tough bowler, and he's a guy that can stand up to Test cricket.
Not a lot did happen today, but one sort of thing that happened this morning, sort of crowd shouting something as Ben Rain came in to bowl, and then a load of sort of umpiring chat after that. Sort of, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, unfortunately, Ben got a bit upset with someone yelling and screaming at him, so he said something back, which, in the heat of the day, on a hot day, these things happen. But, he knows he was in the wrong. He shouldn't have done that. And I think, Porter did the same on day one as well. So, we've got to remember these boys aren't robots. They do react to a few things, and unfortunately he did, and, he'll live and learn from it.
Back up to HQ next week. Got Ben Stokes back. If you play sort of exactly the same game as you play here, I know that there's no easy teams in Division 1 of the County Championship, but you've got to fancy your chances if you ever sort of turn out performances like that.
Well, that's the thing for us. We try and bring our A game every time we play a game of cricket, and that's what we have to do. We're a working class team. We don't think we're outstanding in any form, but put us all together and we're bloody good. And we try to always be operating at that same standard. Doesn't matter who we play against. I love Worcester. I think they're a wonderful cricket team. You know what? And let's be honest, they've had some downs this year, and I know that them as a team are gelled together, and they'll give us an almighty fright, no doubt. But what I can say, I reckon it's going to be another 4 days of exciting cricket.
Thank you very much.